guys, so I'm back. I'm not 100% sure, but I decided to kind of get back into the groove by doing a fun video, and this video is actually a collaboration with a girl named Allie, and her Instagram is BlogmasterLoa or Loya. Don't really know if I'm saying that right. I hope I am, but I will leave all her links in the description bar down below. You should go check out her video, go check out her Instagram. She's really nice, really talented, and I'm really glad that she reached out to me because it kind of made me jump into a kind of like a creative mindset and, you know, getting back into videos, and it was pretty fun, so I'm really glad. Anyways, this is the look that I came up with for summer, and mind you, I live in California. I do not wear this much makeup during the summer. It is way too hot, but I kind of wanted to be a little bit extra, take it to that level, and I hope that you guys really enjoy this look. I also did add a bit of body shimmer as well. I don't know if it's gonna pick it up on the camera, but I did want to do that because it seems like it is a trend right now, and I'm all here for it. Anyways, if you want to know how to get this look, then just keep on watching.
Okay, so before I get into the look, I wanted to give you guys a closer look at the new California Love palette by Colourpop. This is the palette I'll be using in this video. So far, this is my favorite palette that they have released, and I will go ahead and show you guys some swatches of the palette as well. So here are the swatches, and this is from top to bottom row. They are so pretty, and now we will get into the look. So first I'm going to be priming my eye with the Anastasia Beverly Hills eye primer, and then I'm going to go ahead and go into the shade Sequoia, and I'm just using a fluffy brush, and I'm going to be putting that all over my crease and just building it up to get the vibrancy. And then we're going to go into the next shade, and that is the shade Gold Rush. And I'm just taking a more dense brush and using that all over the crease to kind of give it some depth and building that up until I find the vibrancy that I'm okay with. And then after that, I go ahead and take a pencil brush and I go into the shade Mission. This shade actually has some glitter / like shimmer to it, but it doesn't really show up on the eye. It probably could if you used a different technique, like just packing it on, but what I ended up doing was just kind of like rubbing it in and blending in circles so it doesn't really come off on the eye. I just wanted to keep this on the outer V just to maintain sort of a sense of depth and kind of give it a sunset vibe inspired by the packaging of the palette. So I kind of just went to the outer V and just made sure to keep it within that area and just kept blending until the shadow was as dark as I wanted it to be and as blended as I wanted it to be. And then I just kept kind of packing and packing until it was at the opacity that I wanted. And after that, I went in with the NYX Glitter Goals Liquid Shadow in the shade Pinup, I believe. I'll leave the description down below, but I went in with this and I actually used this to cut my crease. Now I normally use a primer or the same primer that I used to cut my crease, but I found that the first time that I did that with this shadow, it actually picked up the base and it kind of crumbled. So I wanted to test out a new method, but I actually don't really like this liquid shadow because after I applied it, it started to do the same thing even though I didn't have any excess primer on the bottom. So I kind of just went with my finger to kind of press it in to kind of adhere it to my lid a little bit better and just kind of blend out the parts that were starting to separate. I tried my best to do this, but it was still kind of separating on me, especially in the inner corner. So what I ended up doing was that I went in with my highlight in the shade Sunkissed, and I ended up actually going over the entire lid just so that we could cover up those patches, bald spots. And it worked pretty well because the base was still sticky from that liquid shadow, so I just kind of pressed that all over to cover it up. And I actually ended up liking how it looked because the glitter eyeshadow underneath kind of made that highlight pop even more. So I just pressed that all over the lid and just made sure everything was covered. And then after that, I go back to the same shade that we were using in the outer V, and I go back to the pencil brush and I just go ahead and kind of mesh the outer corner just so that way everything is blended nicely. Then I went in with my foundation after I already primed my face with the Tatch Luminous Silk Canvas and MAC Fix Plus, and I just blended that out. This is a mixture of the Laura Mercier Dewy Foundation and the Maybelline SuperStay Foundation. I like both of these just because one gives me more coverage and one kind of is more hydrating. So this has been a go-to combination for me. Okay, so now I'm gonna go in with my concealer, and this is the Juvias Place and Tarte Shape Tape. I mixed the both of them because the Juvias Place is a little bit dark for me, and so I used that one as a kind of base in the overall under eye area just because I really like the coverage and I like the formula. It's very hydrating, but I will have to pick up the lighter shade when I run out of this one. So I take the Tarte in the shade Light, and I use that on the innermost parts of my eye because that's where it's the darkest for me, and I take that so it kind of lightens the area, and then I just go in with my sponge and blend it all out. I really like the combination of these two, and like I said, I will be picking up the lighter one just so that way I wouldn't have to always mix two shades. But I do really like the combination. Then I go in with my Fit Me and just set my under eye. And then I take my Dragon Beauty Transformation Powder. I really like this powder for under eye brightening, and I normally mix the two shades. Normally I go in with a brush, but this time I just went in with a sponge just to see if it kind of gave me a different finish. And like I said, I do really like this powder. It's just it could be a little bit overwhelming if you go in with a heavy hand, so just be really careful. And then we're going to go back in with the California Love palette, and we're going to take the shade Diego, and we're going to use that to highlight the inner corners of our eyes. And then with the same crease shades, we're going to go ahead and define the lower lash line. Okay, and then I'm going to go in with the MAC Give Me Sun Bronzer and this bronzing brush from BH Cosmetics and just place that all over the perimeter of my face. Okay, and now I'm going to take the Blushing in Bali palette by BH Cosmetics, and I'm going to go ahead and use the shade Coral for my blush and the blush brush from BH Cosmetics as well. And I'm going to just go ahead and place that on the apples of my cheeks. Okay, and now I'm gonna go in with the highlight highlight from the same palette in the shade Glisten, and I'm just taking the highlight brush from BH Cosmetics, and what I like to do is that I like to go ahead and take my Fix Plus, spray my brush just to intensify the pigmentation of the highlight. Because I decided that one highlight wasn't enough, I went in with the Jeffree Star Supreme Frost in the shade Diamond Wet. It is so pretty. This is actually the first time that I was using this specific shade, and I was beyond impressed. So I just usually like to take these in this kind of formula with my finger. It just gives me a little bit more precise application, but you can use your sponge or a brush. I just like to use my fingers because I just feel like it applies best. Okay, so for my lips, I used MAC Whirl lipstick and the clear lip lacquer by e.l.f. I really like this combination. It's really comfortable on the lips and it's just nice. Alright, so the last step is taking my setting sprays. I use the MAC Fix Plus just to kind of make all the powders blend into the skin and not look so cakey. And then the Morphe setting spray, I use that so that way my makeup lasts all day. And this is the final look. I really love how it turned out. The skin looks really glowy, really fresh, really dewy. I hope you guys really like it too. Tag me if you recreate this look. I would love to see it. And thank you guys so much for watching. Bye!